Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Dr. Dawn-Marie Turner, President of Turner Change Management. One of the things that I hear leaders and employees talk about a lot is when changes that are implemented in the organization don't stick. Leaders talk about the frustration of re-implementing change over change. It feels like they're implementing the same changes over and over again. And in many respects, they are. And employees are frustrated because it feels like there's so much change and yet nothing seems to change. I call this kind of change yo-yo change. And just like yo-yo dieting can be destructive to your health, yo-yo change can be destructive to your organization. It breeds employee cynicism. It heightens the risk of change for your organization, and it erodes trust and creates the fear of future changes. In this video, I'm going to talk to you and share with you why yo-yo change happens, and one thing that you can do differently to prevent yo-yo change and get those new activities and those new behaviors to stick. Okay, let's get started. The first thing we need to do to talk about why yo-yo change happens is to understand and explore the difference between implementing change and integrating those new activities, those new behaviors, those new work processes and attitudes into your work environment. Most of us, including myself, have all talked about implementing organizational change. I use this term quite a bit, although it's a term that I'm backing away from over the last few years, and you'll understand why in a minute. Implementing change implies doing something to people. We are going to implement a new work policy, a new work schedule, or new technology. It implies putting something out there and that the recipients are passive receivers of that change or that implementation. Integrate change. You're working with people. Any required new activities, new attitudes, behaviors are viewed within the context of the current operation, environment. You're considering what level of unlearning and new learning, their level of readiness to take on and create new habits to ensure those activities stick, to ensure that they don't slide back as you let go of the reins for whatever your change initiative is. This is important. It's only when those new behaviors, those new activities, that new environment that you are looking to create stick and become the normal for the people in your organization, your leaders, your managers, your employees, that you get to leverage change, to use it as an opportunity for growth, increasing performance, and ultimately get the return on your investment. It's not easy to do. In a 2013 survey of 2,200 executives, 54% of executives stated their changes and change initiatives didn't stick. Now imagine that. Think about that for a minute. Imagine you bought a new computer and you're really excited to use your new computer. And in about 46 days, you went down to your office to use that new computer, and instead of that new computer sitting on your desk, your old one was there. Your old computer was there. We wouldn't ever tolerate that. Yet that's exactly what's happening when we implement change and those new behaviors, those new activities don't stick. So what can we do? In addition to rethinking the idea of implementing change to integrating new activities and behaviors, that starts immediately to ask us different questions. Because instead of saying, what do we need to do to implement this change, we ask ourselves, what do we need to do to ensure the new activities, the new behaviors that are going to support and enable us to confidently grow in whatever our desired environment is? What's going to be needed to get those to be the normal, the way we do things around here, the habits that are embedded within the work and the way the work is done? So that's the first thing. Really start to think about, as you're beginning to shape and launch your change initiative, begin to shift your thinking from implementing a change to integrating new behaviors and new activities in order to make the new the normal. Because that's what's going on in your current state. And the way we are wired, hardwired, our brain strives for consistency, for predictability. So in those early stages, all of those new activities and behaviors are uncomfortable. They're not what we're used to. And our natural desire is to go back to our comfort zone. So when we think about integrating change, we think about getting through that discomfort to get to the other side where that new is the normal and as comfortable as what the old way was. And then you start to get a real return on your investment. So what do you do to match that? So one of the key things to do is to start and assess, track, and measure the level of adoption. Adoption is the stickiness of your change. We adopt versus adapt to a new environment. We no longer look to go back to a new normal. When you're planning and want true change in your organization, you need to shift the emphasis to adoption. So that again becomes that new normal. There are three things and three questions that can help you assess, monitor, and measure the level of adoption. The first one is to explore and measure how comfortable, how easy are people with demonstrating and using whatever those new behaviors and activities are, which means you're going to need to know what they should be, what your expectations are in terms of behavior and activity and mindset, or however it relates to your change. The other question that you want to ask is, what is their comfort, competence, and confidence in using and demonstrating and participating, engaging in those new activities and those new behaviors? That's going to give you a good sense of what the risk is of reverting back to normal. The more comfortable, the more confident, the more competent we feel in engaging in new behaviors, the more we have the opportunity to create those as our new habits. And finally, the last question you want to ask is really, what are people talking about? Are they talking about those new behaviors as that's the way we do things around here now? Or are they still talking about the benefits of the way things used to be, of the way they used to do their work, or used to engage with their technology or their process or their new environment, whatever that change is? Those will help you, those three questions can help you gain an understanding of what is your level of adoption. And finally, you want to engage and support people to move through that transition process until the level of adoption is high enough to achieve steady state, which is the point at which we will not go back to our old ways. The new ways have become the normal. All right, That's it for now. I hope you liked this video. If you'd like more information on how to conduct a full adoption assessment or how to set up your change for gaining a high level of adoption, then reach out and connect to us at thinktransition.com. I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.